Hello everyone, this is Data Tips here. So today we are going to learn how to create a table in Postgres. So to start with, uh, we need to first log into pgadmin. Once you're logged into pgadmin, you can expand the databases like this. So you can see I have 4 databases. If you do not see any database, you can right click on databases, click on create databases, you put some name here, any database name, and then click on save. So the database will be created for you. So in my case I have already created a test database. What I'll do, I'll just expand it, and under this test database I'll go to schema, right? You can see schemas. Just click on the schemas, and then how many schemas do you see? You see only one schema, that is public, right? So whenever you create any table, by default it goes to public schema. So I'll expand this public schema, and under this public schema here you see tables. So you can see 6 tables. So I have 6 tables. So here you can see these tables. Okay, so the first question is, what is the table? So a table consists of rows and columns, and table allow you to store structured data. So let's see, just query the table. So here you can see table is in rows and column format. Here you can see 8 rows, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 up to 8, right? And you can see 3 columns, id, name, age. These are the 3 columns. Okay, so you also might be thinking, what is schema? So a schema is nothing but a collection of logical structures of data. And also one more key thing to remember, like, you cannot have same table twice inside one schema. If you want to have the same name but 2 tables, you can have those in different schemas, right? So inside this public schema, if I have created the details table, I cannot have the details table again within this public schema. Okay, now let's create the schema. You can right click, just create, and create the schema. You can put some name and it will save, right? So we are going to create a table, so you can just exit this. So to create a table, click on tables, right click on tables, create, and table. Here you can see, so what I'm going to create it, I'm going to create test3 table name, and the honor will be postgres. The schema will be public, and table space will be pg default by default. Okay, so here the important thing is here just to provide any name, that is mandatory field. Now click on columns tab and click on this plus. Okay, now click on plus. So before creating a table, first you need to think about the structure of the table. So you need to think what you are going to store inside that table. So in my case, I am going to create a table which will have 2 columns, one is name and one is age. What I'm going to store is person's name and their age. So the first column would be the name. Okay, and the name is a string value, right? So the data type, you will give it character value. Okay, and the length, when you are selecting any string data, then you have to always provide the length. So in my case, I do not think like any name would go beyond 10 characters. So I'll put the limit is max 10 characters. Okay, and then I can select not null or null. If you are going to select as not null and put it yes, then you cannot have any null value in this column. And also the primary key, so we'll go over the primary key in next videos. Now there is just one column, so I need to add one more column, that is age. So I'll go click on plus and add the age. And age is what? Age is just a number, right? So number is an integer, so here I'll select the integer. So to select these data types, you need to know the data types. We'll cover the data types in next video. So for the integer, you don't have to provide any length. Okay, since you have created all these, you can just click on save and table will be created for you. Also, one thing to notice here, you can see SQL, right? So once you put all these details behind the scene, it creates the script for you. Here you can see, so this script will be created and this script will be executed and table will be created. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just save and see test3 has been created. If you expand this table and see and expand the columns, you have 2 columns. So this is the fun way of creating the table using the GUI option. Now what I'll do, I'll create the table using the create command. So to create any table, we need to use the create command. So create table, and now you need to provide the table name, like which table you are going to create. Since we have already created test3, I'll create the test4. The column which you are expecting here, and where the max value will be 10. Okay, and the age which will be integer. Okay, so and like I am not providing any schema. If I have to create this table in some particular schema, I have to give like this schema underscore name dot test4, right? So in this case our schema is public, so it will be public dot test4. So if you do not write the public or you skip this, it will by default create the table inside the public schema. So now let's execute this statement. Either press F5 or click on this button. You can see query been successfully 48 milliseconds. Create table has been created. And if you refresh it, you can see we have the test4 table. And if you again create this statement, let's see what happens. We got the error saying test4 already exists, right? So sometimes when you are writing any procedure with code, so to handle this kind of situation that you do not get any error, or if you are not sure if you are going to create some table and if table already exists, right? So in that case you do not get any error. To avoid that situation, what you have to do is you need to use if not exist, right? You need to write like this: if not exist, create table, if not exist, test4. This means create the table if create the table test4 if it does not exist. Okay, so let's see and run it again. If it will exist, it will not give you an error. So if you click here, see query done successfully, right? It didn't give you any error, but it gave you a notice that this table already exists, right? So that's how we create the table in Postgres. That was pretty simple. So I'll go over about the data types and some of the constants which we have used here in the next videos. Thank you for watching.